I hope you're hungry because you're listening to Everybody Eats.
What's up, everyone? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Everybody Eats podcast. It's your boy, Bensky Belazaire, co-host Edem XP on the line, and we have a very special guest here with us today, Mr. Christopher. I'm mixing up my words. Christopher Rudder, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up? So, before we get into that, make sure that you're following us on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're on all there. Everybody Eats Podcast. We have all of our videos, snippets, all that content is up there. So make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, share with your friends. And while you're under quarantine, you might as well start binging some podcasts. So this is a great time. All right. So yeah, definitely. So now we'll get into the episode. Mr. Chris Rudder. I first met Chris. Actually, I was taking care of some business for Kilty. And I had the chance to run to Chris, and he helped me set up my business account. So we were able to network. You're from New York, right?
That's right, Brooklyn. What up?
Originally from New York, so we connected. Half Haitian, so we definitely connected, right? So he definitely helped me set up my business account, and that was a very interesting process. So that's actually something that I asked him to come on the show. We could talk about for any entrepreneurs, anyone who's starting a business, looking to maybe you're looking to get an LLC, looking to start like an official account. We figured we could just throw some helpful tips for how to go about that, the importance of it, and all that. Yeah. So before we begin, if you could just briefly introduce, I know I briefly said it, but if you could just briefly yourself introduce, who are you, where are you from, what do you do?
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll go into the conversation.
Sure. Hey, what's going on, fans, listeners of Everybody Eats? A great introduction, Mrs. Zaire. I wanted to first introduce myself. My name is Chris Rudder. I am a local business consultant at a major nationwide bank. Truly blessed, truly excited, very much hungry in the area. My focus is to really mentor and also really focus on being strategic as far as how I handle taking care of people, and especially when it comes down to the area of business needs. So have over about 10 years working with small businesses, and it's been something that has been truthfully amazing. Each client, each person I've interacted with, they all share a story, and that's my passion in life, is to be able to guide them through that story.
Definitely. So, like I said, Chris was very, very helpful with me in setting up my business account. So, we can start from the beginning. What is a business account, right? So it sounds pretty simple, but if you could just describe in your words, like what are the benefits, and like what is one? What are the benefits? How do you start that?
Sure, Mrs. Ayes. So basically how it works is a company, when they're looking to obviously grow their business and, basically see the fruits of their growth, they're going to need to have profit that's going to come into that account, okay, or come into their business. And the only way to truly be able to house a lot of that profit, especially when it comes down to taxes that you're going to see when a business actually is getting ready to file for those things, is going to be a business account to house their profit and house their money. So the best course of action for any business looking to really be profitable, or even to think about, actually opening the doors on day one, is to have a business account. And it's something that's going to be based on how you actually form the business. So, for instance, for some of my clients, they're starting maybe a rideshare business, and they're driving for Uber or Lyft or something like that. So they're going to want to open a business account. They may not know they need one, but because they're actually operating as a business, and especially if they're identify themselves operating as such, when it comes down to taxes, they're going to need to make sure they have some type of official account that has the title of their business that way, and it organizes what's the difference between any kind of personal income that they're getting and then also income that they're getting from the business. So it's a great idea to have one. A lot of banks, they'll have certain type of offers and incentives for having one, and then they'll be able to give you some type of rewards back as well. So you want to be really cognizant and do your research to find out which is going to work for you. I can tell you some banks have the ability to even have perks where you don't have to have any type of check images fees. You get an actual check package when you start your account with them. They may even throw out some type of reward package as well. So definitely want to do your research on that. And then also think about the type of business that you are opening as well, because that's going to play a part in the type of account that you're going to get.
Sure, for sure. So I know something that you mentioned is when businesses file their taxes and things like that. So one of the best parts and best reasons of having a business account, like briefly mentioned as well, is separating the expenses and the profits from your personal account and what you personally make versus what your business entity, corporation, whatever makes, right? So one word that is thrown around is commingling, right? So commingling is when you may have your business and your personal account under the same, right? And now you have money from your personal going to the business and vice versa, and it can get a little messy and ugly, especially when you're looking to file for taxes and you just want paperwork. So it just helps with preventing that, and it's just another form of organization. So you can be like, all right, this is all the money that's spent on the business. It's in one. It has one checkings, one savings, one credit card, debit card, right? That we set up, and then for your personal, you have that. So it may seem like, oh, it's a lot of work in the beginning, but later on, definitely when it comes to filing taxes, paperwork, and any of that, and just budgeting for your business, you know that you have it separated and you don't have to worry about that. So that's definitely something that benefited me and just like, helping me organize and things like that. So for those who may be a little hesitant, definitely go check that out. And
Great.
before one of the requirements, I guess we could briefly speak about that. So what are some of the requirements? I know I had to, bring in my EIN number, right? So how do you get the EIN number? That goes back until after you have to form an LLC. And for those who've been watching, you've actually kind of sort of followed that journey when I got help with Ty back in January helping my LLC. And then from there, I got the EIN number. And then after that, that's when I went to Chris and he helped set up the business account, right? So if you've been following, you've been seeing that journey unfold. So besides the EIN number, what are the actual steps like, right? So maybe I started my LLC, now I have my EIN number, now what? What do I have to do to open that account?
Great. So for any business looking to really have some establishment, when you go to an actual bank, they're going to need some type of some legal structure. Okay. So for instance, depending on how your business is formed, and I kind of give you a little background, each business is a little different. And so for let's just say Joe Schmo, who owns Capitol Heights restaurant, how he opens his business, how he wants to set that structure is going to be very vital for how he protects his money, and then protects his future money as well, his future profits and earnings. And why is that important? Because if you think about it this way, when you're looking at liability, you don't want to be in a situation where you're liable if you ever have a lawsuit personally against you. Okay. You want your business to really be, because you're operating as a business and you've done whatever it is, a client may be dissatisfied with something or something happened, they're going to go after that business. So you may want to open what we call a limited liability company, or LLC. Okay. Many different opportunities or ways to be able to open this. Some people go through LegalZoom. Some people go through an online resource, an attorney. You can even go down to the city yourself and actually have it formed. But a limited liability company is one of the businesses or business structures that you can be able to actually establish without having to worry about being actually responsible on the hook personally. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be number one. So let's just say you're an LLC. How many partners are you in? How many partners are with you on this business? Those things are going to be also play a role in how you actually form your business. But kind of keep in layman's terms, you want to be able to have those documents with you after you actually establish that. Okay. Because once you have the EIN, you have your legal structure as an LLC. Maybe you're a single member sole proprietor. So maybe it's just you in the business as an owner. Maybe you have a C Corp. So you have, or a S Corp. You have, several different partners part of that business as well. You want to be able to have that documentation with you. I always also stress this too: have a plan, have some type of business plan that outlines from step one. What is your first year to look like? Okay, because a lot of times, when someone says, "Hey, I want to start a business," I say, "Great, okay. What is your plan? Have you, really considered everything that goes into the part of that opening of that business? What is your actual future projections look like? What does your revenue look like? Have you anticipated, all these different verticals and variables that may or may not happen?" Okay, so have your documentation ready, because a bank is, you're sitting down with someone like myself. I'm going to ask you for those things, and then I'm also going to probably ask you for what do you have you projected as far as profit goes. And so those are some of the things that you want to really focus on having day one when you open your account.
Definitely, definitely. So we just went over how to start one, the necessities. I guess you kind of briefly touched about it, but what would you say are like the benefits? Or like why, if you just briefly touch again, like why would you encourage someone to start one?
So I always, focus on. I want someone to see their dream come around reality. Okay, and so obviously, any dream that's a reality has to have action behind it. And I think, when it comes down to that action and seeing from, you actually creating the logo and seeing it right in your hands, to actually, putting your business from the passion that you enjoy doing, and seeing the profits come back from that. Because honestly, if you're a true business owner, yes, you're in the business to make money, but let's be honest as well. A lot of times it's really about, and I know for us West Indian people as well, if you're not even just West Indian people, but if you're people, somebody that's entrepreneurship minded, you want to see that you have a place in, the world as far as business goes, or a name for yourself, supporting the community. It's a community type of driven project. Obviously, with everything going on right now, there are a lot of businesses that have started and are quickly tanking right now because of the epidemic. It's just a lot of upsetting things is going on. But I just want to share with you that, if you hang in there as best as you can, find a way to, kind of switch gears. One of the things I always encourage any business owner, anyone that's looking to start a business, the benefit is obviously is going to be the success that you can see. If you can see it, you can visualize it, you put into action, you will get the reward. And I think that's what makes it special. For me, I can tell you, I'm also a business owner as well. Some of the biggest benefits I've seen is just be able to make an impact on people's lives. That's all I've ever cared about. That's all I've ever wanted to do, was somebody to come and say, "Hey, wow, Chris, you did XYZ for me, and I felt good about it, and it made an impact." And so that's something. If that's important for you, then great. If it's important for you to make money, hey, don't think you're going to make money on the first year. That's just not going to be comparable. Not every business comes out the gate making money on day one. How you set your brand and how you create your brand is important. Not only from a business standpoint, but from a personal standpoint. How are you representing that business? And so those are some things that you really want to be cognizant of.
Definitely, definitely. Um, Before I ask my next question, Edom, do you have anything you want to bring up?
Yeah. I still kind of feel like he touched on it. I was gonna ask, like, I guess a variation of your question. How would you suggest one maximizes, like, makes the most out of their business account?
That's a great question. So again, every bank has particular incentives, and I know, for instance, there is a company, or a bank, I should say, that allows you to see your total profit, as far as what is your chronological, um, historical profits you could make. So basically, based on projections. So for instance, let's just say this: on month one, you open up your bank account, you deposit $100 in there. You had your first sale within maybe 30 days later. Okay, month two. So you put in, that's about maybe $1,000 right there. And then let's just say steadily up and down, because sometimes you kind of think about it as far as some businesses, when it comes down to profitability, it's almost like a linear curve. There is times where you're going to have peak season and you're going to go really high. You're going to make a certain amount of money there, and you'll probably go down a little bit. You may stay steady on certain periods throughout the year. So what certain banks will have is a tool that allows you to see what does your projections look like. How can you foresee, okay, what will your income or profit will be? And so something like that is going to be beneficial for you. But also it keeps in line when it comes down to you hiring a bookkeeper, or let's just say you have maybe you're doing the bookkeeping yourself when it comes down to taxes. So you want to be able to account for your federal and state taxes. The bookkeeper is going to ask for all those statements, okay? And so each month that you've been in business, you've had the bank account with XYZ Bank. They're going to ask for those particulars, and that's going to be a lot easier, obviously, than taking the money or whatever you written down on maybe a profit and loss sheet, which you'll need to have as well. If you don't know what that is, I'll kind of get into that. But your bank account also is going to be vital, as well as being able to be having a trusted source that's going to be FDIC insured. Okay, so as your revenue is going in there, you're creating a relationship. Okay, there are going to be times where, especially like this time where we have an epidemic, you have a pandemic going on, and the government saying, hey, we're going to be supporting our businesses. We're going to be giving out certain tax breaks. We're going to be giving out loans availability where you can be able to get loans. You want to have a bank that you can trust, that when you're in a situation where, look, you've made annual revenues of $100,000 and you've also been able to maximize everything you could do, and things have fallen short, you want to know you have the backing of that bank to be able to support you when you need it most. And so what I mean by that is, hey, you've been in business a certain time period, the bank's going to say, okay, I understand you need this. We can then be able to give you $100,000 if need be. We can give you $50,000 if need be. It's just knowing that you've had this relationship for a certain amount of time, that the bank's gonna be able to give you a small business loan to help you out through that time as well. So that's gonna be utmost one of the most convenient things, is being able to have that relationship, okay, as a small business owner. Of course, the main things you always want to be able to have is to be able to have some flexibility, being able to make incoming wires or having any kind of outgoing wires, being able to be having convenience right at your fingertips, know what's going on in your account right from your phone through a mobile app that's going to make sense for you as well. All those tools are going to be great. Of course, you want to have the option, if you don't already have to, depending on what your industry is, be able to take credit card payments, have something that's going to be stable, in that market for you as well. All those things are going to be unique for you, and it definitely needs to be open for you as well.
Definitely. So, thank you for answering our questions for all our listeners. I hope that you learned something new. I know sometimes when you're starting off to be a business owner, sometimes doing this quote unquote legal stuff can be a little bit intimidating. Maybe a little bit scary if you don't know, all the, I guess, all the steps behind it, right? If maybe starting an LLC or getting your EIN, getting your business credit card and all that stuff. I know for me, sometimes I was like, ooh, that's a little scary. That's like grown folk, So, but I think a lot of it just stemmed from I didn't really know, like I wasn't really too educated, right? So, I hope that this, sheds some light for any of you who, looking to start or who have started and you're not too sure. So I hope you learned something. And we'll definitely drop your social media later on if anyone has questions. So thank you for answering those questions. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll go into segment 2, and Elon will give us the quote of the day.
Right.
Welcome back to segment 2 of the Everybody Eats podcast. We're here with Chris Rudder, eating XP on the phone, on the computer. And we're doing our quote of the day. So Edem, he has that quote for us. So what we got?
So life will only change when you become more committed to your dreams than you are to your comfort zone.
I like that.
That is good.
I don't know who it is, but I like that.
That's good.
Is it is a person living?
Nah, I think they passed.
They did.
If you search this person up, you're gonna get 2 people, and I really wasn't sure who said it. 2 people with the same exact name.
I got no clue.
How much of let me ask you this: how much of a presence or how well known is the creator of this?
I had no idea who this person was until I found this quote.
You know who it is? Nah, I have no clue. I'm gonna throw out. You say you think he's dead? I'm gonna throw out. Man, Athlete, politician,
No,
author,
no prior
Athlete.
knowledge.
Athlete.
athlete. Ain't even dead. Athlete? I have no clue.
Which sport?
Baseball.
No kidding. Hmm.
Jackie Robinson?
Nah.
uh,
Man.
which team?
I do not know. Oh wait. I think the Dodgers.
Name the dog.
Oh, okay. So okay, Dodgers.
Baseball is not my thing. I do not know.
Well, I tell you what, I actually did look it up.
I got two people.
Well, I'll tell you the first person you're probably thinking about that wrote it is not the person that wrote it. But the person that did write it is by the name of Mr. The last name is Cox.
Cox?
CO,
COX.
the Cox Cable.
Guy Cox Cable. Nah, yeah, I still don't know what that is. Who is it? Edom, tell us.
The name I got was Billy Cox.
That's
All
right.
right.
Billy Cox? Okay. He was a baseball player? I don't have no clue.
I got a baseball player, and I also got like a bassist. So he played the bass, and yeah, that's
And
what
it,
I
Oh,
got.
but that's very telling, though. With that statement, you break that down. That and what you get is, look, if you want to see your dreams come through, you gotta be you're gonna be uncomfortable. Period. You're gonna be, and like I can speak for many people who have slept in a one bedroom spot with no furniture, but they know they got to work that next morning and they got to do what they got to do. I've been there, but hey, that's the level of drive you're gonna have. If you want to see things through, you gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah. Edom, could you say the quote one more time?
Okay. Life will only change when you become more committed to your dreams than you are to your comfort zone.
It's a comfort zone. I mean, they say it all the time. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And right before the show, I saw a video actually. It was like a Steve Harvey animated clip, and he kind of talks about that. Having to be in the dirt. Right. So he was like comparing a person or comparing your life to an acorn. And saying that an acorn is essentially just an oak tree. It just needs to be nurtured, and that just has to go through the dirt a little bit and just be nurtured and grow. But all it is just an oak tree. You just need someone to take care of it. But when he was talking about going through the dirt and being uncomfortable, he was saying like, some people are afraid of the dirt and afraid of getting uncomfortable and afraid of those situations. But he was like, those are the situations that you need in order to grow. Right. So in the analogy of the acorn, he was like, if you take an acorn and just leave it there, it's not going to do anything. Right. It's just going to be an acorn. You're going to come back a year later. It's still just going to be an acorn. But you put that acorn through the dirt and you take care of it. Now you come back a year later, it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. So I really like that point. So like you said, like you have to be put into uncomfortable positions, and you have to get out of your comfort zone if you want to see growth, if you want to try something new. Because new can be scary, new can be nervous, but like you just have to get over it. You know what I mean? You can't let that fear and let that nervousness. It's okay to be a little scared. It's okay to be nervous, right? That's natural, but you can't let that grip you and prevent you from accomplishing what you want or accomplishing your goals. Because now at that point, it's just stopping you, and you're not accomplishing anything. You're not doing what you set out to.
Well, facts, and I think the key word there you're talking about is fear. That's something that a lot of people around the world right now are dealing with, especially in this country, is letting fear hold them back.
Yeah.
We
So
in an uncomfortable time right now,
Very
very,
so, very much so.
very much so. So what we'll do, we'll get into the next topic, and we'll continue talking about the uncomfortable time, talking about Rona, Miss Corona, all that, whatever you want to call it, COVID, convid, whatever you want to call it. So we'll talk about our next segment, break down tips that you could use, and how to, overcome the quarantine, how to keep yourself sane and keep yourself hustling. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the last segment of the Everybody Eats podcast. So, as we said, we will be talking about coronavirus, right? So, coronavirus, quarantine, Miss Rona, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. It's been affecting everyone's lives in some sort of way. It's touched everybody. Unfortunately, some people have been negatively affected. Rest in peace to those who have caught it, who passed away. Rest in peace to those who have it and they're recuperating. And we just want to give some pieces of advice and share some stories of what's been going on. So I think the first thing I want to just briefly mention is that in times like this, it's important to stay like level-headed, right? So it's easy to fall into the panic. But it's important that you have to stay level-headed. You have to keep cool, right? I believe it was Dave Ramsey. He sent a post. He had a post where he said like no uh people never make good decisions when they're scared or when they're drunk, right? So that's something that you kind of want to keep in mind. And he was saying mainly in the terms of financials of he was like, oh, he just sees a lot of people asking like, oh, do I take my money out of my 401k? Do I stop doing this? And he's like, whoa, like granted, yeah, times are a little bit crazy, but that's not the time just because you're scared or you see something going on to start making dumb decisions of like taking your money out when you shouldn't be, right? Maybe if you're older, obviously there's exceptions to the rule. If you're older and you have your retirement account and you're about to retire soon, sure. But like if you're younger and you just started saving, like no, it's not the time to start taking your money out, right? But that's a whole retirement. That's a whole discussion for a different day. But just making smart decisions and not falling to that panic. That's what's really key. That's what's really important. So before we get into that, I know Edem off camera. Edem, we were briefly discussing about this. I know Edem said that he had something you want to share. We were talking about this toilet paper crisis that's been going on, and preventing price gouging and all that stuff that's been going on. So Edem, what have you seen or how's your experience been with the coronavirus?
So for the most part, my mom did a pretty good job in like stocking up before this. Most I've done was personally go out and get my quarantine snacks. But I went I went to is it Costco's? I went to Costco's on Saturday. I want to say Saturday, and the line stretched out 2 blocks, around 2 blocks around the store. We got there at 9 a.m. We did not leave the store till I think 12 p.m. I think surprisingly the line went pretty quick. It was like a 20-25 minute wait, but getting inside there was just a madhouse. Everybody's buying different things. You see so many different people with masks and gloves on. Even while you're waiting on the line, people are walking up and down the line recording. There's like madness going on. Um, there's a crazy limit on everything. Prevent people from buying up the whole market, store and everything. Um, the whole special store hours. A lot of people out here just, worried. Elderly people, anybody over the age of 60, can go in at like 7 o'clock or 8 a.m. in the morning. So my mom's been trying to take advantage of that a couple times. But she told me this story where I forgot what day of the week it was, or maybe I think it was while she was at work. She went and tried to go buy some. She went and tried to buy a thermometer, I believe, and she went to one convenience store across. There was two on one block, so she went to one and she bought one for I want to say $9.99, and then she went and crossed over to the one across the street to go buy another one, and she saw it and she asked for it. The dude literally picked it off the shelf, turned around, scratched the sticker off, turned back around, and tried telling her $25.
That's
My mom was livid. She's like, "Are you
wow.
kidding me? Are you kidding me?" Like he didn't even like leave or go anywhere. He just turned. He just backed her, faces back to her, just scratched the price off, and did that. My mom was in so much disbelief, bro. She was so angry. She's like, "You know what? Over there, they're selling it for $9.99. That's fine. You can keep it. I'm good." This whole crisis is really bringing out the worst in the American people. I feel. My friend told me he went to convenience store because he was stocking up himself like I want to say 2-3 weeks before this happened. Actually, Sebas on the Sebas, we had him on earlier. He told me he went to a deli and he asked how much for one of the pack of waters. The dude said $25.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? $25?
Yeah.
$25. I don't know. I don't see the point in price gouging. My mom's older, of course. She's in the at-risk category. So, every couple days she has me look on every any shopping website, Target, Amazon, to go see if she can buy hand sanitizer or face masks. We actually ordered a few, but it took a while, and we've been looking at prices. Hand sanitizer, when this first, I want to say when I like around the second week of March or the week of the 13th, hand sanitizer was going for like $300, $319 for like a pack of four. We saw one that was like $8.99 with $2,000 shipping. I don't know. I don't know. So I was just really, it was really frustrating to go look, and people are out here. You're preventing, your next door neighbor from being able to properly protect themselves against the virus, all because you want to, make a quick buck. Like, that's just disgusting.
Yeah,
And
like
I don't know.
it's they're taking that supply and demand to, extreme heights, right? So obviously, since there's such a high demand for it, like, you just shoot your prices up. No, like, I feel like that's okay in, in the normal life, right? And when everything's normal, sure, you want to make a quick buck, whatever. But not in the sense of, like, this isn't even wants. These are becoming like more necessities, and like, this is not the time to be trying to make a quick buck or to just try to make money, because, like, just no, you know what I mean? Like, it's just never, like, trying to make the money now is just, that's not how you go about it. Like, you more likely, like, you don't need the money as much as the other person needs, whatever you're selling, whether it's like a mask or gloves or hand sanitizer. So, like, trying to just benefit off that, like, that's just slime, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's what people are doing now, unfortunately. But for those, unfortunately, another side effect of, this price gouging, another side effect, unfortunately, a lot of people have lost their jobs. And Chris, I know we were speaking about this off camera, but you were just saying, that mentality that you have to do, like, unfortunately, yeah, you lose your job, but, like, it's important to not lose your mindset and to keep that hustle going. So if you could just briefly, like, touch on that, like, what's the importance of that, having that mentality?
Yeah, absolutely. This now is not a time to just live in a place of fear and, hide in the closet and say, oh, oh my God, what do I do? Oh, the world's ending. Get off that hype. Don't. I think first thing you should do is get off social media too. Social media could be a very detrimental place, and put you in a mindset of, always just kind of, again, you're entertaining that energy of space. A lot of people up there that are talking some nonsense. What you first want to do, I will say right now, is to plan ahead. You know what I mean? Make some changes. Take the time to, not think of the situation as, oh, everything is going to go bad, but how are you going to go ahead and wake up and make an impact, and just go ahead and find the money? Because if you're in a situation where you have lost your job, you're in a situation where you have, limited resources and those things, you got to find a way to be hungry. Again, I was talking about it earlier, but, having the mentality of an entrepreneurship, I'm going to go ahead and fight. I'm not gonna go ahead and just sleep, or I'm not gonna go ahead and just stay, on the bed, and then hope it'll come to me. I have to go out there and get and eat. And I think a lot of times we've just been comfortable, just working a job, knowing that, oh, this money's gonna be here. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this check and this check, living paycheck to paycheck. But I'll tell you right now, in this situation, is probably woken you up already, and already let you know that at the end of the day, I got to go out there and make it happen. I've been unemployed situation from December to April of 2015 to 2016, and I will tell you, I didn't come back home unless I brought home the bacon. Okay. And so that's what I'm talking about, is you got to go out there, legally find a hustle, find something that you could make, bring in some money. Don't be too proud to, push a broom. Don't be too proud to work at Walmart. If you come in from a big job and they laid you off, don't get lost into the idea of, expecting anybody to give these handouts and government, give me stimulus checks. Yes, this is going to be great if we get some help. That's cool. But at the end of the day is, what are you going to do to bring it home? How are you going to maximize your time to be profitable and be productive. It's just not, it's not conducive to, just be at home and not being productive. You know what I mean? So even if they say, hey, we're gonna quarantine you, there are literally sites that will pay you for your time to do surveys or any kind of, if you could think of content that you want to create, maybe you're an artist, maybe anything that's it just is legal and it makes sense, you could bring home and still be able to get a check. It makes sense. And so that's my approach with this whole pandemic thing, is that I'm not letting myself be in the mindset of being complacent, because where there's complacency, there's fear, there is unproductivity, and it's just not healthy.
Definitely. So that goes into what I wanted to say. You said content, right? And content, I think that's my favorite word right now, right? So I think I actually made a separate video about this, but I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna go on a little rant about the importance of content, right? So for all those creatives out there, this is a very, very unique time. This is a golden time, very, very unique time. If you think about it logically, everyone right now, like you said, everyone right now is on social media. Everyone's online. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, I don't care what it is. Everyone is online. Snapchat, everyone, right? So now is the time, if you're looking to, if you already have an established business, this is the time to go hard, go crazy, make content. Every single day, flood the internet with your content, because there are eyes. There's attention, right? Everyone is on there. So now this is when you're going to get the most attention. People are home quarantine, right? You're going to ask people, what have you been doing all day? I've been on my phone all day. I've been on the computer all day, right? This is the time to start grabbing that attention. So it's one. And then not only that, it's like similar to those who maybe if they have a business, right? And maybe, the brick and mortar, maybe they have to close down, right? So now this is the time. So if you already have an established business, earlier we talked about pivoting, right? Now you have to say, hey, maybe I can't get as much attention, foot traffic, but now maybe this is the time for me to start building my online presence. If you don't have a website, work on getting that website done ASAP. There are websites, there are people you could pay to get that website done. If you have that social media account, start working, start grinding. If you have extra time on your hands, now start building on your Instagram page, your Twitter page, your Facebooks, right? Get it official, get those pictures, get that content out there, post something, let people know who you are and that you're out there. I've been seeing a lot of people go use or maximize IG Live, right? Over the weekend, DJ D Nice was on IG Live spinning tunes. He had like 500,000 people listening to his IG Live. He had Obama on there, Michelle Obama, like Oprah, Bruno Mars, Mark Zuckerberg. They were all in that IG Live party because he was just like, yo, I'm going to just start playing tunes on IG Live for free. Think about that. That's reach. You know what I'm saying? So this is a time that as a content creator, you have to be creative. You have to be consistent. Use this time, maybe a certain aspect of your life got cut off or, just freed up because of quarantine, making sure that you're filling up that void with productive content that's going to benefit you. And, God willing, when all this, hoopla passes by, that you could be in an even better position, and that, one thing I like to, people say like, oh, when life gives you lemons, right, make lemonade. Like, yeah, it's the same thing. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade, make a margarita. Like, make it even taste better. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something that, right now, yeah, it's a bad situation, but capitalize so that when you're done, you can be in a better situation instead of sitting here soaking, like you said, because you can sit here and sulk and you can sit here and worry. But, sulking and worry is only just going to give you more time to waste on the quarantine. It's not going to do anything to pass the time. It'll free up that boredom that you're going through, make you do something productive. So that's some ideas for all my content businesses, entrepreneurs. If you're on there, this is a great time to capitalize. So even myself, here at the podcast, we're just trying to find ways to just create more content, do more episodes, reach out. And it's been fun lately because one thing I've mentioned before on the podcast is that social media marketing is definitely not my strength. But this is a time where I'm like, all right, I have to, shut up and stop complaining and just learn how to do it, learn new strategies and get better at it. Right. So I'm learning myself, and, we're all going through the process. Right. And especially for those who lost their jobs, this is a good time to start getting creative. Maybe you're into fitness, right? If you're into fitness, into cooking, whatever, passion that you do, record it, throw it on Instagram, record it, throw it on TikTok, record it, throw it on Twitter. right? You never know. And if you could find your passion, you can find something new, you can find something interesting, and then, from there you just grew. So
Facts.
for all my
Yeah.
content creators there, take advantage, make sure to capitalize.
And to echo off what you said, people being like on Instagram, people are bored, bro. I've seen 20 different challenges on Instagram. I've seen like post your dog challenge, post a baby picture challenge, do push-ups,
challenge.
do workout challenge. I've been
Yeah.
tagged in so many push-up challenges, so many shot challenges. It's unbelievable. So definitely, if you have something interesting or creative, put it on Instagram. People are bored. They will look at it.
Definitely take advantage. All right. So on that note, does anyone have any last words?
No, sir.
Hey, stay just hungry. That's what I would say right now. Stay hungry, and don't feel like you're gonna wake up tomorrow and have a full breakfast already prepared for you. Go out there and find your breakfast. Make it happen.
Definitely. So on that note, I want to say thank you, Edem. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris, for joining us in this episode. I think we had a really engaging discussion. I really learned a lot. I think it was a really great discussion. I hope our listeners, they learned something as well during this time. Just trying to throw some positivity, some encouragement, because we don't know how long we're going to be in here. So you have to just stay optimistic, right? And that's the only way. That's the only way through. And another phrase I heard, I think I saw a video. A lot of people say like, "Oh, I'm going through hell right now." So they're saying if you're going through hell right now, keep on going, because why would you want to stop where you're at, right? So on that note, remember, keep moving forward, keep pushing, keep staying optimistic, keep grinding, and you'll get to where you're going. All right. So make sure you're following us on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Audio's up there, YouTube channel, Everybody Eats Podcast. We have all our videos. Follow us on Instagram at everybody_eats podcast. We're on TikTok, everybody _eats pod. We're on Twitter. Watch out for our content. We'll be posting more. Chris, how can people reach out to you if they want to know more?
No doubt. So I'm actually gonna be. You can find me on Instagram at soca_monarch87. I'm also on Twitter as well. So I have a Twitter. So my Twitter is crud004. You can pull me up from there. I'm sorry, no, soca_monarch87. So that's also soca_monarch87 is my Instagram. soca_monarch87 is my Twitter. Okay. Definitely follow me. And we can hash it out. Any questions, just DM me. Let me know.
All right, for sure. Again, thank you very much, and see you guys next week.
All right, word.